Thinking is the highest function me and you are capable of. Well, you might be saying, well, Alex, what do I think about? You need to think about where you're going. Stop thinking about your past. You think about your past, you're going to stay in last. Understand? What's going on, everybody? Hey, welcome to another episode of the Alex Morton Show. Listen up. Today, if you're watching this, driving to work, at the gym, sitting at home, maybe you're in America, maybe you're in Mexico, maybe you're in Canada, maybe you are in Europe or Africa or Australia, or maybe even another planet. Listen, I want to say I am grateful for your time today that you are giving to me and also giving to yourself and your future self, because the whole purpose of the show is to give you guys real, raw, real content, advice, strategies, guidance, mindset, principles on how you can go from zero to hero, maybe rock bottom to rock star, or maybe you're already doing fairly well, 5 figures a month, 6 figures a year, 7 figures a year. I don't know where you're at, but I will tell you this. Today's episode, it is very important because listen, I was mentored by Bob Proctor. A lot of you know Bob Proctor. If you don't, you need to know who he is, who he was, right? And in my opinion, he was the greatest teacher and educator on the planet. And I met him. I was earning $400 a month in my first direct selling company. And with his mentorship and everything he taught me, he helped me go from $400 a month all the way up to, my highest month ever, which was actually over $2 million. I know it sounds crazy, but I'll tell you what, it is possible. Okay. If you don't know my story, I grew up in a small town in Bexley, Ohio, 2 pizza shops, 2 ice cream parlors, right? My grades were decent. In high school, I made the honor roll like 2 times, graduated with a 2.98 GPA, got rejected from Oklahoma University, Ohio State University, Indiana University, went to Arizona State, wanted to get rich, wanted to get wealthy, wanted to do something big with my life, got involved in real estate at 18, fell into direct sales at 21, and now at 34, this industry has brought me to over 77 countries around the world. I've worked with over 1 million people. I've earned a lot of money. I've helped a lot of people. And today I'm going to talk about one of the most prominent, prolific ideas, theories, not really theories, but principles that have helped me do what I've been able to do. So if there's ever been an episode where I want you to absolutely lock in and focus and take notes, it is right here, right now, because you watching this right now are a human being. And as a human being, okay, you are God's highest form of creation. I don't care what good book you use or pray to, whether you go to the mosque, the church, the synagogue, or you don't go anywhere, or maybe you are an atheist, which, that's cool with me, whatever, right? I'm telling you guys right now, okay, you are God's highest form of creation, which means you are capable of anything and everything. And here's why. Every single species, every other God's creation on planet Earth, right? Planet Earth, they are completely at home and normalized in their environment. One of the greatest trips my wife and I ever took, we went to Kenya and Tanzania, and we did the African safaris, and it was absolutely tremendous. I recommend it to anybody that wants to go out there and do an epic vacation, right? And when we saw the zebras, the elephants, the lions, even like the Pumbas, right? The warthogs from Lion King, right? Every animal was at home in their environment. Like, it wasn't weird for the lion to be in the freaking Serengeti. Does that make sense? Like, every other species is completely at home and normalized in their environment except human beings. Okay, we are completely disoriented in our environment, right? A little baby cannot and will not survive without the help of mom and dad, right? The little baby shows up, that baby cannot fend for itself. That little baby has to be fed, has to be taken care of by other human beings, or that baby will cease to exist fairly quickly, right? We are human beings. God gave us special items, special powers. There really are powers. Now, I'm going to use the word magic here today, right? If you want to judge me for that, you can judge me for that. I believe that our higher faculties are actually magical powers given to us by our creator, right? Here's the deal. Me and you were created in the image of perfection. AKA God. What does that mean? If we were created in the image of perfection, what does that mean? Perfection exists within you and me. I know it's hard to believe sometimes, but guys, perfection exists within me and you. Okay. God gave us higher faculties. I want you to write these 6 down. These are very, very important. Okay. Then we're going to break these down. I'm telling you guys right now, if you can get these 6 higher faculties and learn to use them and leverage them to your advantage, there's no reason why you can't make more money, be happier, be more fulfilled, be more purpose driven, and really get and build and create the life and the vision you so badly tell yourself you want. You go to sleep at night thinking and imagining your dreams and goals. You wake up in the morning thinking and imagining the life you want to build and create for yourself and your loved ones, right? You're on TikTok and Instagram. You're following accounts where people are driving nicer cars, living in nicer homes, taking nicer trips than you. I'm telling you guys right now, if you can tap in, if you can tap in to learning to utilize these 6 higher faculties, guys, success will flow to you, right? It will flow to you effortlessly. Okay. Yes, you got to work hard, but I'm telling you guys right now, if you can tap into the spiritual world of what's going on here, because here's the deal. We are spiritual beings living in a physical body. Would you agree? We are spiritual beings living in a physical body. One day when we stop breathing, right? The spirit leaves the body, the soul leaves the body, it goes elsewhere. The physical body goes 6 feet under the earth, okay? There is magic within human existence. The quicker you say, okay, I accept that as truth, the quicker you can absolutely change your life. And if you're having a hard time believing some of the things I'm talking about right now, here's my question. How well has your way worked thus far? Your way of thinking, your habits, your daily disciplines, like the life you currently have right now and all the spokes on the wheel, health, wealth, love, happiness, your growth, your level of abundance, your level of prosperity. Like, how well has your thinking and belief system served you up to this point? Because when I met my mentor, Bob Proctor, listen, I had no real money, okay? When I got started in the direct sales industry, it was $600 to get started. I had to use real estate commission checks to purchase the product of my first company. Like, I was in a place where a lot of you guys might be right now. You know, there's too much month at the end of the money, right? You got bills stacking up. You got credit card debt, student loan debt, one of the top debts in the United States of America. Like, I get it, but it's because you've never been taught what I'm going to talk about right now. You've never been taught about memory, reason, your imagination, your intuition, your will, and your perception. Okay? Perception, will, intuition, imagination, reason, and memory. I'm going to break these down right now. Okay? You need to take notes. You need to share this with people you care about, because this is the difference between you and your pet dog at home, your pet cat, your goldfish, the rhinoceros over in Africa, man, the hippopotamus that I saw over in Kenya. This is what separates and differentiates me and you as a human being with the rest of the animal kingdom. Okay, you have to stop living life solely on your senses. What are your senses, right? See, hear, taste, touch, and smell. Your dog can see and hear and taste and touch and smell. You cannot go through life just operating like your pet dog, which you feed every day. If you don't feed your dog's not even going to survive, okay? You're a human being. You have to tap into these higher faculties. So here we go. First one, memory. Okay, memory. You have to understand everybody has a perfect memory. If you don't believe me, look these up. There are case studies of men and women in Europe, in America, in other countries that have been able to memorize the entire Bible, Torah, and Quran. Listen to this. There are people that have memorized the entirety of the Quran, the Torah, and the Bible in a very, very short amount of time. Your memory is perfect. My memory is perfect. We don't work on our memory. We don't sit there and take a book, read 2 lines, read 2 lines again, read 2 lines again, read 2 lines again, program it into our memory, and then verbalize it out over here without reading the book. What are you doing? You're working your memory. You're building your memory. You're practicing your memory, okay? If you don't believe me, guys, you can think about memories when you were 10. I can see vivid memories right now of myself in third grade in Bexley, Ohio, in a classroom. I can remember what my teacher, Miss Blanchard, was wearing in 1990, whatever it was, right? So don't tell me your memory's not perfect. You're not working on your memory. So understand your memory is perfect. Work on it. Train yourself, right? There's games you can play. There's apps you can download. You can practice with yourself. Work to build and sharpen your memory. Next up, perception. This is a big one. Perception. It's the way you and I see the world. It's the way you and me see things, right? When you change the way you look at something, that thing will change. So imagine how powerful that is for a second. When you change the way you look at something, that thing will change. And it makes me think of the story when COVID-19 first hit. You know, up to COVID, 2011 to 2020, right? 2020, when COVID first hit, I was on a plane every 3 to 4 days, right? And I got the receipts to prove it. Get on my Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. It's all there, okay? Making lots of money, doing my thing, having a lot of fun. And when COVID happened, I'm sitting in Miami, you know, the 35th floor of the Porsche Design Tower. I remember it like yesterday. I was with she was my fiance at the time, and one of my best buddies, Dar, was in our unit. And I remember Dar saying, yo, like it's a lockdown in Miami. And I remember thinking, you know, what does that even mean? It was during spring break. They cleared the beaches. I was like, yo, what is happening? What's going on? Everybody's freaking out. And then like the next day on TV, they're like, yo, stay in your house. Like it's a lockdown. So obviously there were no more flights. So I am freaking out because I've made my entire career and money off of flying and traveling and speaking and making money. And now I cannot fly, I cannot travel, and I cannot speak on any stages to make any money. So I'm losing it. I call up my mentor, Bob Proctor, and I talked to him on the phone, and I asked him, I said, Bob, what do you think about what's going on? And he said, what do you mean? I said, man, I've been traveling for over a decade, doing my thing. I can't fly. I can't travel. Business is doomed. He said, okay. So I said, what do you think? He said, I don't think about it. And I said, what do you mean? He said, I don't think about things that I cannot control. I only focus on things that I personally can dictate the result of. He said, Alex, change the way you're looking at this whole COVID situation. He said, look at it as a blessing. I said, what do you mean? He said, look at it as a way you can spend more time building your business digitally so you can talk to your France team at 10 a.m., your Italy team at 12 p.m., you know, your Germany team at 1 p.m., your American team at, 6 p.m. You can talk to more people in less time, save money traveling, and have more time to be, at home working on your health. So I changed the way I was looking at COVID from this disaster, this, oh my gosh, everyone's going to die, and really, really bad situation. I looked at it as a blessing. I changed my perception on COVID-19. Guess what happened? Our company 4x'd. We quadrupled the amount of sales during COVID because we got everybody else to be thinking about, okay, look at it as a blessing. You can stay home. Everybody else is staying home, and they can have more time to build their business from the comfort of their home with their friends and, in their family at home, right? So when you change the way you look at something, what you look at is going to change. Another thing that I use my higher faculty of perception is whenever I have a problem and or a challenge, I get a piece of paper and I write out the challenge and problem on a piece of paper. I look at the paper and I ask myself, okay, is this challenge inside of me or outside of me? Right? And I immediately realize the challenge is outside of me because it's on a piece of paper. I'm over here staring at it, right? And then I think, okay, there's the challenge. It's on a piece of paper. There's chairs all around the table. And then I move around the table and I think, okay, how would Bob Proctor view this challenge? How would Ed Mylett view this challenge? How would Tony Robbins handle this challenge? How would Kobe Bryant handle this challenge, right? So I'm getting different perspectives on the challenge, right? Because I'm changing the way I'm looking at the challenge and or the problem. This is something that you can do as well, right? Use your perception. Okay. Next up is the will. One of my favorite ones. Like if you ask me, Alex, if you had to pick 2 higher faculties that allowed you to become a millionaire before your 25th birthday, what would they be? One of them is the will. Okay. The will allows me and you to focus on one idea with the exclusion of all outside factors and forces. What does that mean? It gives you the ability to focus. There are lots of distractions in today's world. Would you agree? You got Fox, CNN, NBC, ABC, Twitter, X, OnlyFans for some of you, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, all this, your mom and dad, your grandparents, your family, your friends. You have so many voices and so much noise, like background bullshit noise, affecting and infecting your level of focus. So when you use your will, it allows you to actually focus with the exclusion of all outside factors and forces. It gives us the ability to focus on one idea with the exclusion of everything else. Okay? What does that mean? It allows you to concentrate. Concentrate. And when you and me concentrate, we can consciously raise and or lower our level of vibration, which really means we control our own personal power in our day-to-day, right? Because a lot of us, all of us, every single day, we make decisions, right? Well, I should go to the gym. I should eat healthy. I should prospect 5 people. I should do 2 presentations. I should do follow-up phone calls, right? And then some of us, we either do what we're supposed to do or we don't do what we're supposed to do, right? But when you use the will, it allows us to turn up the level of intensity, the level of focus, the level of tenacity to actually get the job done. When I launched my second company in direct sales, okay, I had a lot of built up aggression and anger and frustration, and just I was tapped into the dark side. And I said, okay, there was a goal to hit. The goal was called Diamond. And I remember joining my second company. I asked the people that brought me in, I said, who's the fastest ever to achieve this level of Diamond? Diamond's like $1 million a year. It was a certain amount of, I think it was $800,000 in sales, something like that. And they said, well, we don't know the exact record, but no one's ever hit Diamond in their first month. And I said, okay, well, that's the target. That's the goal. And in that month, I don't know what month it was, 2015, okay? I used my will to focus, and I got sick about 70% done with my tour. I think I did like 35 flights in 1 month, building the business, driving sales, just going absolute total ape shit to get the job done. I used my will to continue on, because I remember getting on a plane somewhere in Europe. I was pale white. I was with a couple people, and I remember thinking, damn, I don't know if I can finish this thing and get the job done. But I tapped into my will, and I focused on the end destination. I focused on the target. I focused on the goal, and I got it done regardless. Okay, you got to understand, you got to do things regardless of how you feel. There's a life philosophy out there called Stoicism. I think I'm saying that, Stoicism, being stoic, right? And it's all based on the idea of removing emotions and doing what you need to do. Very, very simple, okay? Removing emotions and doing what you need to do. And the will allows you to do that, to focus, to laser in, to zone in, guys. When you watch a horse race, what do all the horses have on the Kentucky Derby? They got blinders on, blocking them to see right and see left. They can't see anywhere except right there. Okay, that's how you use your will, to laser focus in on the goal and do what's needed to get the dang job done. Use your will. That's how you tap into your power. That's how you tap into your infinite supply of knowledge, perfection, know-how, tenacity. Nobody has any clue what humans are actually capable of doing. You can bring in the smartest PhD, MD people in the world. Nobody knows what humans are even capable of accomplishing, because humans continue that. What do? They continue to surprise more humans. That's what keeps happening, right? The 4-minute miles, the Wright brothers building the first aircraft that flew. Now we have, in Dubai, they're delivering food. Uber Eats the people got jetpacks on, flying around, delivering food. I was recently on a European tour in London, England. There are these literal robots now running around town. They know where the cars are, the people are, they have all these lasers on, delivering Amazon deliveries from robots. Like this is already this isn't the future. This is the now. Okay, this is the now. So use your will to focus. Okay. Next up is one of my personal favorites, the imagination, right? I said, Alex, what are the two? What are like the big two that allowed you to do the things you've been able to do? Number one was the will. Number two was the imagination. Our imagination allows us to build images in our mind, on the screen of our mind, and it allows us to build mental movies also on the screen of our mind. You've got to understand everything in this studio right now began in the mind of somebody else. Think about it. Cameras, microphones, shoes, pants, shirts, watches, the Red Bulls in the fridge, everything began in the mind of somebody else. Every hotel in this world began in the mind of, no hotel just showed up. You know, my wife and I have a condo in Vegas, right? There's hotels everywhere. Beautiful, beautiful hotels, right? The Wynn, the Encore, the Cosmopolitan, these multi-billion-dollar structures first began in the mind of somebody else. Then it was put on paper. Then it was built in the physical realm. Whatever you want in your life must first begin in your mind. Okay, are you using your imagination? Are you sitting there quietly daily and thinking? Okay, thinking about the life you want to build and create. Your vision, your dreams, your goals, your targets, everything physically in my life, from watches to cars to real estate to success, whatever it might be, all were ideas and thoughts in my subconscious mind. You have the power to do the exact same thing. Your mind thinks in pictures. Think about it for a second. If I asked you to think about dad or mom, do you see MOM or DAD? Probably not. You probably see a picture of your mom, a photo of your dad. Where? You don't know, not a physical photo, on the screen of your mind. Okay? We get in life what we picture. We become in life what we most of the time think about. Okay? Use your imagination to build there. What is there? There is a place. You have the ability, say you want to live on Miami Beach in a condo on the sand, right? You can take yourself there right now. Whether you are in Nigeria or Tulsa, Oklahoma, you can see yourself on the beach in Miami. The waves are hitting your toes, right? The wind is blowing in your face. They're bringing you out a lunch, fresh guacamole, right? You're sitting on the sand, right? You can feel the warm breeze on your face. Like you can build a picture and an image in your mind. This is what, I teach our people that I mentor personally. This is what we go through. We build mental movies of them at their next company's convention, right? Where next convention, how much money are you making in your insurance, solar, network marketing, real estate, car sales, door to door? Where are you? You can see yourself at that next convention. What suit are you wearing? What's your hairstyle like? What do you smell like? Okay, what shoes are on your feet? Ladies, what kind of bag are you carrying into the convention? You can see yourself backstage getting mic'd up before you walk on stage in front of 5 to 10 to 15,000 people and share your story about how you got started in your insurance company or your network marketing company. You didn't know what was really going on, but you were excited. And then you learned about the business, you worked hard, and now you're making $5, $10, $20, $100,000 a month, and you're on stage giving your testimony. You can do this. My mentor, Bob Proctor, coached a movie producer and director. I forget his exact name. And Bob told me, I watched this. He was up for an Oscar. Get this. He was up for an Oscar. We were in Los Angeles, California at an event. Bob had this guy stand up and give his Oscar award acceptance speech prior to the Oscars. He rehearsed it in his mind. He rehearsed it physically. And the guy won an Oscar. And then he did it for a Tony Award on Broadway. I can't make this stuff up. You can go look this stuff up, guys. It's insane. Okay, it's insane what you can do with the power of your mind. Go study Conor McGregor. Go watch old footage of Conor McGregor telling everybody, I'm going to be the first Irish UFC champion. There were nobody from Ireland was in the UFC. And he's talking about becoming, guess what? The world champion, UFC champion. Go look up Ed Sheeran. Go look up Justin Bieber, Drake. Everybody that built their success in their mind before it showed up in the physical realm. They did that. They do that. You do that by utilizing your imagination. Okay. Very, very important. Okay. Next up, we have, it's called the reason. Reason. It's your reasoning factor. Reason is a fancy word for your ability to think. Thinking is the highest action me and you are capable of even doing, right? Thinking. Nobody taught you how to think in grade school. Nobody taught you how to think at Oklahoma University. Nobody taught you how to think at grad school. No one talks about this stuff, right? Okay. Think what you're thinking about. Think about that for a second. Think about what you're thinking about. The dominating thoughts of your mind show up in your physical world, so you need to be thinking what you are thinking about. I am constantly thinking about my goals and targets. I'm constantly thinking about the future I am creating. Because guess what? The future it's right here, right? Past, present, and future. It's all happening. It's all happening right now. Okay, boom. And then it's the next scene of your life, the next scene of your life, the next scene of your life. Make sure you are thinking about what you're thinking about. Because if I told you your life right now, if you're over age 18, especially in America or Western Europe with infinite opportunities, okay? I've been in places where you would never go, okay? Places like Ecuador, the ghettos of Brazil, the favelas of Brazil. Guys, there are places in Brazil we drove past when we were down there in Brazil where they said the police don't even go into the neighborhood because they literally will not come out of the neighborhood. That's how dangerous there are certain places are on the planet, okay? If you're watching this and you are blessed to have Wi-Fi and YouTube and air conditioning or heat, and you're making excuses, man, you're a lazy sack of shit. Sorry to say it, but that's the damn truth, man. It is what it is. Right? I've been in third world countries where they have to run through walls and go through hell to have opportunities that you wake up and have in your lap. Like it's a joke, right? So think about what you're thinking about. Thinking is the highest function me and you are capable of. Well, you might be saying, well, Alex, what do I think about? You need to think about where you're going. Okay? Stop thinking about your past. You think about your past, you're going to stay in last. Understand? When you're driving your car, what's bigger? Your rear view mirror or your front windshield? Your front windshield, man, because you're going. You got to go. You're looking forward. What happened at 4 a.m. this morning? I can never go back and change it. Neither can you. Why are you going to think about it? Especially if it's a negative experience, it's a traumatic experience that stays locked in your subconscious mind, which now is hindering you from achieving success today. So many people let things that happened to them when they were children hold them back from present day. That's why there's so much work coming out now about healing your past traumas and forgiveness and letting go. Like there's so many books about this stuff because it hurts so many good people. And that's why they're not where they want to be, because this past crap is still holding them back from where it is they're trying to go. Okay? So think about what you're thinking about. Think about where you're going, right? Think about the future you are creating. And last but not least, you guys, intuition. Intuition. What is your intuition? Well, to me, it's your gut feeling. It's your God feeling, right? It's you tapping into the infinite energy, the infinite source. You have been places where you walk in and you don't feel good. You don't know what's wrong, but something's not right. You don't feel good. That's your intuition. You have shaken somebody's hand in business and you immediately say, I don't know what it is about this guy or girl, but something is negative, something is off, something is wrong. Okay? They've done studies on this. Women actually have a higher sense of intuition, probably because they birth humans out of their body. So they're actually imagine this. Women are actually portals to the spiritual world. Think about it for a second. Okay. No, they're not. Yeah, they are. Okay. Women take from the spiritual world and form a physical existence into the physical world. Think about that for a second. Okay. They are literal portals to the spiritual world. It's unbelievable. Okay. And they can tap into energy, but you can work on this. You have to just think a little bit how you're feeling, right? You can shake somebody's hand. You can feel their energy. This is where the whole vibes thing came. Good vibe. Like you see these t-shirts, good vibes only. What does that actually mean? Vibrations, vibrational frequencies. Everything is on a frequency. Whatever you want is already there. It's already here. Everything that will ever be is already here. Does that make sense, guys? The difference between here and there, it's the same word, except on there's a T. And T stands for time. That's it. Where you are and where you want to go. Here and there, it's just time. It's just you being productive and effective. It's just you staying disciplined. It's just you doing whatever it takes. It's just you becoming more aware. So tap in to your intuition. Listen to your intuition. Listen to that little voice, right? I've gotten better at this over time after losing lots of money in different business deals, trusting the wrong people. Now I have a better intuition when I meet people. My wife is like unbelievable at this. She can meet somebody and pretty much 99 out of 100 times that we've been together and she's told me, hey, watch out for this guy, or, this is a bad situation or bad investment. She's been right pretty much 99% of the time. Okay. So it's your gut feeling, it's your God feeling, and it's your ability to pick up on energy of environments, people, investments, and it will give you the ability to read situations better, which will lead you to be making better decisions on your day-to-day life. So again, 6 higher mental faculties. You never stop studying this stuff, you guys. Okay, you never stop studying this stuff. You just don't. This is a lifelong journey and a lifelong process of becoming aware, of becoming your highest form, your highest vibrational frequency possible. And you do that by practicing and refining your memory. Reason. What are you thinking about? Ask yourself, what am I thinking about? What are the ideas and thoughts that I'm thinking about most of the time? I have to change my thinking to change my life. My imagination. My gosh, I gotta build the image in my mind of what I want. I have to build a mental movie of the life I want to live. Right? Your intuition, your God feeling, listen to it, right? Embrace it, study it. Your will, your ability to focus, your ability to concentrate, very, very important when achieving success, right? And then your perception. When you change the way you look at something, that thing will change. So again, listen, if you got value on today's episode and you're watching it on YouTube, make sure you comment, like, subscribe, send it out to friends, family, and people in your organization. If you're listening to it on Apple and or Spotify, leave a 5-star rating, leave a review, okay? And guys, I want you to win. I want you to be healthy, wealthy, happy, full of love, full of abundance. I want you to go out there and achieve all your goals, all your targets, and all of your dreams. So thank you for taking the time out to listen to another episode of The Alex Morton Show. I will see you next week for another episode, and we're going to help you get to where it is you want to go. Remember, there is a place. It's already out there, but you have to make the decision that you're going to fight to turn that dream and goal into a physical reality. Bye for now.